Hola, 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 and welcome back to Sapsapiens channel. Have you decided to use SAP CAL but don't dare because you don't know exactly how much you are gonna pay for the Hyperscaler? You don't understand what happens after those 30 days? Can you continue using SAP CAL? In this video, I'll try to give answer to all those questions. I hope after watching this video you decide to give a try to SAP CAL. In case you still don't know the options to have access to an S/4HANA system, I leave here the link to the video where I explain them. Let's go to the details of SAP CAL. Before entering to the matter of the costs, let's have a look to two concepts that you will find when reading documentation about SAP CAL. Those two concepts are instance and appliance. What are they? Do you know the difference between them? Let's start reviewing what an instance is. If you visit the help page of SAP, you will read that an SAP instance defines a group of resources such as memory, work processes, and so on, usually in support of a single application server or database server within a client-server environment. Application servers share the same memory areas and are controlled by the same dispatcher process. To make it simple, if you have ever used SAP Logon, one instance is this, for example. In fact, each of the different entries of the SAP Logon are different instances. As you know, they are different environments with different configuration and data. Saying that an instance is an application server is not correct because different environments can share the same application server. And what an appliance is in SAP CAL? An appliance is not the same as an instance. An appliance is a pre-configured SAP solution that can be instantly consumed in the cloud. Let's imagine that you must prepare a presentation. An appliance would be like a PowerPoint template that includes company logos, letter formats, background images, and so on. Something already predefined to help you to go faster. The instance would be like the final document you are working on. Would it take you the same time having to prepare the presentation from scratch than using the predefined template? Probably the answer is no. In fact, an expert would take on average between 2 and 3 days to install an S/4HANA instance without any configuration and data. With SAP CAL, you can have everything ready, including configuration and data, in less than 1 hour. Cloud Appliance Library is a repository of appliances in the cloud. Fully application appliances contain configuration and demo scenarios with sample, master, and transactional data. They are systems ready to test. When you activate an instance in SAP Cloud Appliance Library, what you are doing is mirroring the appliance of your choice to your own instance instead of making the installation from scratch. It will be like copying the PowerPoint template to your own computer to start working on it. Just as a curiosity, the size of a fully activated appliance of S/4HANA 2020 is 869 gigabytes. Let's move on to the costs of using the service of SAP CAL. As we saw in previous videos, to get an installation of an on-premise product of SAP, you will need at least 3 things: the hardware, the software installation, and a valid license. Each of these elements have a separate cost. If you don't understand and control it, you can end up spending several thousands of dollars in a single month. I don't know about you, but in my case, that is a very high price for just exploring the functionality of a new version of SAP. It is important to understand how much the cost works to be able to estimate in advance how much you will spend. Let's start reviewing in detail the cost of the hyperscalers. If you go to cal.sap.com and you go to explore the library, and for instance, we choose this SAP S/4HANA 2020 fully activated appliance. we can calculate the costs. I'm gonna choose Google Cloud Platform and I'm gonna choose Europe West 4 for the price. And these are the prices. These prices in the website can be a little bit misleading. The first time I saw them, I didn't understand them exactly. Is the $100.53 a minimum fee and on top of that I have to pay the other price? The answer is no. Do I have to pay the whole 100 with 43 if I only use the instance for a few days? The answer is no. Let's check a little bit in detail what they are. If you remember from previous videos, the instance can be activated, what means that the server is on. You will need it in that status if you are going to use it. Then, for the time you use it, you will pay the hourly rate. However, it can happen that you have a private life and you want to go out for dinner with some friends. In that case, to save costs, it would be better if you switch it off. That would lower the costs considerably. You will move from $3.75 per hour to 14 cents per hour. You can divide the monthly fee by the number of hours in a month. On the other hand, if you are not planning to use it for a long time, it will be better if you just terminate the instance and then stop having costs. Of course, if you are using the free credit of a hyperscaler, those prices will not apply until the credit has been consumed. To understand better how the cost works, let's estimate the price of two different scenarios. For the price simulation of this video, I picked the fully activated appliance of S/4HANA 2020 with everything installed, including BI and remote desktop, installation done in Google Cloud Platform, and Zone Europe West 4. Other hyperscalers and other locations will have different prices, but the logic will be the same. Additionally, you can decide not to install the optional virtual machines to lower the price. As we know from previous videos, there are three possible statuses for an instance: active, suspended, and terminated. Each of the statuses have a different cost. The status active has a cost of $3.75 per hour. The status suspended has a cost of $100.43 per month. If we consider that a month has 30 days, that makes approximately $3.35 per day. That divided by 24 hours makes 14 cents per hour. If you terminate the instance, the price will become zero. After terminating an instance, don't forget to check the cost in the hyperscaler 1 or 2 days later to make sure that the costs are not being increased. If so, check what service is still active. In my case with Google Cloud Platform, I had an issue with the service of keeping the IP fixed. It was not deactivated and it was increasing some cents every day, despite I didn't have any instance. To be able to estimate the costs in the different scenarios, I timed first how long it takes for my instance to perform the following actions in SAP CAL. Creating an instance takes 32 minutes. That means a cost of $2. I painted this because it's like moving from terminated to created to active. Suspending that instance, 3 minutes, $19. Here is moving from active to suspended. Activating the instance again after suspending takes 12 minutes, 75 cents of dollar. Terminating the instance takes 3 minutes, 19 cents of dollar. I leave here the link to the video about how to make the installation of S/4HANA 2020 on Google Cloud Platform. Let's simulate the price for the first of the scenarios. Let's say that you want to use SAP HANA for 4 hours one day. How much will that cost approximately? First, you will need to create an instance. Once the Hyperscaler is properly configured, the installation in SAP CAL will take you 32 minutes, so $2. Let's add now to this price the 4 hours that you are planning to use. That adds $15. Finally, once you have finished your active work, don't forget to terminate the instance if you don't want to have more extra cost. That will take 3 minutes and a cost of 19 cents. To sum up, the total cost of using 4 hours, one single day the instance is approximately $17.19. In SAP CAL, you have the option to schedule a date time to suspend or terminate the instance in case you are afraid of forgetting it. I recommend you to use it. Let's review now another scenario where you want to use the instance for 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. You don't want to terminate the instance because on Sunday you are planning to continue with the same data you were preparing on Saturday. How much will that cost? Let's see. Creating an instance, $2. Price of the 2 hours of use on Saturday, $7.50. After you finish, you suspend the instance, 19 cents. You need to keep the instance suspended for 24 hours. That means $3.35. On Sunday, you will reactivate the suspended instance. That is 75 cents. The price of having the instance active on Sunday is $7.50. After you finish, you terminate the instance, 19 cents. All that makes a total of $21.48, approximately, for using the instance 4 hours during the weekend. Let's move now to the Cloud Appliance library again. When you log on to the Cloud Appliance library, you can see all the available appliances. Each appliance that has the status available and the tag trial can be tested for free for 1 month. After that period, the appliance will appear logged in your account. I have already logged the S/4HANA 2020 fully activated. So I will not be able to use again this appliance unless I pay the monthly rate of 750 euros per instance, or the equivalent price in other currencies. The good thing is that after that trial period, only that appliance is locked. You can still use other appliances that are available for 1 month. So, if the appliance of S/4HANA 2020 is locked, you can still use another 30 days of S/4HANA 1909 or other previous versions available in SAP CAL. Let's see. You have all these versions of S/4HANA fully appliance, so you can use 1 month each. The good news is that in case you have more than one email address, you can create a new SAP CAL account and use another trial period for an instance that has already been locked for you. If you see, you have other tags here like dev and should be okay, mother company and edu. The developer editions can be run with no limit on their use. They don't have expiration date, but you still need the Hyperscaler. And the edu are normally used for OpenSAP courses, and you will have to check the terms and conditions, but normally they have an expiration date of 90 days. Let's move now to the topic of the product license. During the trial period, SAP creates a 30-day free license. You can use that license until the trial period is finished. there is no need of extra costs. Only in case you decide to buy a SAP CAL license and you don't have your own license, you will need to contact a SAP partner because the prices are not public.
And now, let's finish with the Sapsapiens tips. Do you have more than one email address? Then use them in SAP CAL to having access to the same appliance more than once. Use the free credit in the Hyperscaler more than once also. Use different versions of the same product in SAP CAL to get extra months to explore the same product. You can start using, for instance, SAP S/4HANA Fully Appliance 1709 and then move to the 1809, 1909 and 2020. Schedule the suspension and the termination of an instance in SAP CAL to avoid extra cost. And you don't know what to check in the instance when you are inside? Then you can follow the guides that SAP has prepared. You have here the link and you will find it also in the related post in Sapsapiens. There you will find guided examples to follow.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will leave below a link to the related post in Sapsapiens. If you have already tried SAP CAL, I would really love if you share your experience below in a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to be notified when more videos are published. You can also visit the Sapsapiens web to find more content about SAP. See you in the next video.